With the NFL trade deadline right around the corner, could the Patriots be about to make a move? If so, what part of the team should they look to improve? I'm Alex Barth with Evan Lazar. This is the Patriots Press Pass from Gillette Stadium. And Evan, I think that we can pretty much say without much controversy, there are three spots the Patriots should look at above all else.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, tight end, and we'll say offensive line, but tackle.
Yeah.
You know, they could get maybe a guard who can play multiple positions, but
Sure.
For the sake of this argument, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line. Which of those positions do you think the Patriots should be looking at the most, be putting the most resources into, are the most desperate for heading into the deadline?
Well, I think it's a tough question to answer simply because I don't know what offensive tackle they could go out there that would really be a big improvement right now.
Yeah.
And then I think the hope is that the team is going to get Isaiah Wynn back at some point here in the next month or so. So Trent Williams, for example, I think is out of the question at this point. Doesn't sound like Washington wants to trade him anyways, but in order to make that work cap-wise, and also, do you really want to trade for Trent Williams to probably only play him for 4 or 5 weeks, or maybe then you're benching Isaiah Wynn when he comes back?
Right.
It's just a lot going on there. So I put tackle last just because I don't know if there's a good replacement out there that's worth kind of spending on, if that makes sense, if it's not Trent Williams.
So, all right, you gave us the bottom.
Yeah.
Didn't answer my question. You gave it the opposite of my question.
I had to go backwards.
What should they be focused the most on?
There we go. I would say wide receiver would probably be where I would start, simply because there's a lot of options at that position of people that they could move for. The guy I'm looking at is Manny Sanders. Let's get Manny Sanders out of Denver. They're not going to the playoffs. There's no reason to have an expensive veteran like him on the roster. An absolutely perfect fit in this offense. Can move him all around the formation, run at different levels of the field, do all sorts of different things in this offense. I love Manny Sanders. He's also a very smart, high football IQ type player, so I think he'd be able to pick up the offense pretty quickly. And the Patriots would have to move some money around, but if they were to, let's say, dump Michael Bennett somewhere, they could pretty much make the Manny Sanders thing work. I'd also look for Mostanu in Atlanta. I think all the pipe dreams of Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen, I don't think those are happening. I think that that's a big ask for the Patriots at this point. Even AJ Green, I just don't see happening. But Sanu, or maybe a guy like Manny Sanders, I definitely could see happening, and that leaves tight end.
This edition of the Patriots Press Pass is brought to you by Keeps. If you want to take the first steps against hair loss, visit keeps.com/garden for your first month of treatment free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/garden. I'm actually going to say the position they should look at most is tight end.
Yeah.
Because they really have two needs.
Because you want to disagree with me?
Well, that too. They need a pass catcher, right? They need another option for Tom Brady, and they need somebody who can help set that edge in the running game. Like you mentioned, the tackle market, there really isn't one.
Right.
There's not that many guys you can go out and get. But
not a lot of teams are just giving away starting tackles. There's not enough of them in the league as it is. I think that's a big thing that people don't realize, is that there's not 64 good tackles in the NFL right now. It's a lot like the quarterback problem. There's not 64 good tackles right now. So if you have 2 starting tackles, you're not about to go trade one of those guys.
Right. So, and again, to get back to my point, they need a pass catcher. They also need somebody who can help set the edge. So if you go out and you get a good tight end who can block, who can help in the receiving game, isn't that 2 birds, 1 stone there? So
I love the idea.
I don't know that O.J. Howard or Austin Hooper. Right. I don't know if those guys are available, but in theory, if you get somebody who's capable, you can help yourself in both the running game and in the passing game. Real quick here before we wrap it up, I mentioned off the top, those are kind of the 3 consensus biggest needs. Do you see maybe another position they bring in somebody under the radar?
I think that they could go with somebody more on the interior of the offensive line, potentially. Okay. I think that if they could get an upgraded center over Ted Karras, they might actually look at that. Not that Ted Karras has played terribly by any means, but it hasn't been as good as what they would have expected or would have liked, I would think. Certainly has not been as good as David Andrews. Right. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that player is available. Offensive linemen, it's really difficult to find teams that are just willing to ship away good starting caliber offensive line help. But I think that center or tackle could be 2 spots that they look at, because they're not moving the guards or the right tackle. So it's really this left tackle and center as kind of the weak spots right now.
So I wonder, and this is a little outside the box here, but hang with me. I wonder if they'd go out and try to get a kick returner. Cordero Patterson was such a spark plug for them last year. He was such a good situational player for them. He could get them the field position, get them a big return when they needed. And right now, it just seems like Brandon Bolden's kind of the placeholder back there.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they have any intentions for him to actually return kicks.
Right.
So I wonder if there's, and again, I don't necessarily have the name off the top of my head. I actually just thought of this as we were talking about it. But I wonder if they could go out and just get a kick return specialist.
Yeah.
a guy that they can throw back there and maybe once, twice a game if they need a spark, give him the green light and say, hey, see what you can do with this, run this ball back. So they don't have that guy right now. I think Gunner's staying just on punts for the time being. I wonder if they maybe go out and look for a kick returner.
It's not a bad idea because they need explosive plays,
right?
And they're lacking, no matter how you get them. Right now they're getting them off kick punts and punt blocks and defensive touchdowns and some of it on offense. If they could add another phase where they're getting them in the kick return that as well, especially with the way that this defense is setting people up, it would be a good look.
All right, let us know what you think your expectations for the Patriots at the trade deadline. Leave them in the comments. This edition of the Patriots Press Pass has been powered by Keeps. If you're ready to take the first steps against hair loss, visit keeps.com/garden for your first month of treatment free. That's KEEPS.com/garden. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth from Gillette Stadium. Thanks for watching.